So this has been to two different mechanics, two different shops. One of them thought that the noise was from alignment or tire rub or something like that, and they just searched everywhere. But it was the hub engagement, specifically on this side. So you can see the vacuum hose for this one. So it had a vacuum leak, so it was trying to shift into four-wheel drive, and the noise was gears inside this hub.
Brian's Mobile One.
On this police truck, you can see where it used to have a bull bar that went up over the front. You go further back, this is where the problem was, or where the sound was coming from. This was trying to shift into four-wheel drive every time you turn left, and when you're going on a turn, it's harder for it to go if it's got like half vacuum. It doesn't really commit. As soon as it loses vacuum, it's spring-loaded, pushes it into four-wheel drive, so this was just kind of in between. This is an ex-police truck. You can see where it used to have a light bar. See, it's been through the trees, it's been out in the sun, it's all cracked. This is where the siren used to mount. See, this is my steering wheel, it's a flashlight. When I turn left, there's no noise, and then it stops. There's kind of a delay in having it kick back, so I thought that's kind of weird. So I did a quick visual inspection of the vacuum hose, because these are vacuum actuated, and everything looked good. I inch tested it, it looked good. I ran vacuum, this is the vacuum supply for it. I pulled this off, ran vacuum to it, and it just leaked right out. And I thought, that's weird. It didn't do it on the right, just on the left. And so then I ran vacuum to the hub, didn't do anything. And then ran vacuum just to this hose, and it passed the test, and then it failed the test, and then it failed, and then it passed. And let me show you what I found. So here is my vacuum tester. I plug the end of it, goes right up, works great. Let off, it gets off. I always test your test equipment before you test anything else. It'll save you a ton of grief. So this goes to your vacuum supply. This goes down to the wheel. If you get into these and if you horse on them too much, you'll wish you didn't, because they'll fail basically. So I'm going to take the adapter, put it in there. So then you pull on the hose and crank the vacuum, and it just drops. It just doesn't get any vacuum at all. You squish a hose up like this, and it actually holds pretty good. So this is what had happened when you're driving straight, and when you turn left, it dropped. So it took a minute to figure that out. But where the leak was right here, just right in the corner. So when you look at it like this, you have marks above and below the zip tie. It looks like a zip tie mark, and maybe it was at some point. You know it was, you can totally see where it's chafed at. But over time it just got dry rotted and cracked. So when you buy a new one of these hoses that's kind of double, let's get this to the end. So there's two nipples. This one is your vacuum supply, provided by the solenoid on the firewall. This one is a vent to cavity. So you've got a membrane that moves by spring load to make the four-wheel drive on all the time. The resting position of the four-wheel drive hubs, when you turn the car off, your hubs automatically engage for four-wheel drive. When the engine vacuum comes in, it pulls that back and makes it two-wheel drive. Well, there's that gap between being in four-wheel drive and not, and that gap goes to this hose. So this is your main supply that we were just testing on. This is the vent hose, and if you follow the harness, you'll find that it vents down like that. This one was stretched out straight because it had some work on it, and it was after they had some suspension work done on it that this actually failed. So is this a suspension shop's fault? No, but that is where when it manifested. It just got old and it cracked. This all comes as a unit. You can't get just one of these at the dealership. And you probably shouldn't want to, because this rubber, this, and all the rest of it's all going to have the same age, same number of suspension cycles, heat cycles, seasons, etc. So if that's toast, it's not long until that will be too. This is the part number. and I was lucky enough to find this in stock. So, tube or tubo. So let's go look at the car and I'll show you what it looks like on the car. Alright, so this system starts clear over here. So this is your power brake booster. This is the line that feeds the power brake booster vacuum. And then there's a little piggyback that comes up and over. And then comes to here. And then you've got a check valve. And then you've got a vacuum reservoir. Is what this canister kind of thing is. And that's just kind of like a buffer to make sure that you don't have interruption of vacuum and have your four-wheel drive coming on and off. Then it feeds to this solenoid. This solenoid's electronically controlled. It vents here. When the vehicle's off, it's just venting. And then this is the new supply line. And it goes down to the split. You can see the split right here looks unhappy. I need to do some routing or securing with this. That's not okay. It shouldn't be under stress, it should be just relaxed. It's like it's in there good and they're glued. So this is your vent that comes out to here and it goes down this corner. And then you've got your other line that comes down here, and there's just two nipples it slides onto. The other line, it's just a single line, goes all the way down across the front of the frame here. And there's one on each side, pine tree tabs that hold it in, and then one in the center. This one's got the police off-road package that you get in Arizona. So you can see the new vacuum hose going, there it is. So you can see the new vacuum hose going across the top of this strut tower. And then it goes, it's double again, see our double hose. There's our union. And it goes down here till you get to the hub right there. And you get at least one good shot. So you can see the two hoses. So it just goes onto a nipple. If I were to pull that off, you'd see two brassy colored nipples. There's a little one for the cavity vent, and then this is the one that actually pulls it into two-wheel drive. So if this is disconnected right now, and I turn the wheel, you'll see that the CV axle's connected with it. And then when you do have vacuum or the engine's running and it's in two-wheel drive, you'll see that the CV axle disconnects from it. That helps get good gas mileage and saves your CV axles, at least the boots on them. Where are we at? Here we are. I can't even see. I can feel it. If you're not used to mechanic work, you'd be surprised how much of this work is done braille. Alright, so that is all the way flush so that water and dirt and stuff can't get between. And that's it. So this is your wheel from the front. There's your tie rod end. This is some goofy BMW stuff. Ford, I swear, every year they try harder and harder to be BMW. When it gets vacuum, it pulls it back into two-wheel drive. That's kind of a good safety thing because you don't want to lose four-wheel drive and get stuck somewhere remote away from town.
Bonus footage at the end. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click like and subscribe.